calamari. Delicious. On a big one, a really big one, Riley. Okay, so welcome to another episode of Axeman's Fishing Adventures. I'm back out on Touradin. Woke up late today after having a bad sleep and thought, looks alright, why not have another crack for a couple of hours on some squiddies. So I love eating the squid and they're good fun as well, so thought I'd come out. I've only got a couple of hours, so it's looking nice and flat out here. And we're about an hour or so from a high tide, so perfect time to hit the squiddies on a slow drift. Let's see how we go. Here we go, here we go. This feels like a good squid. Really good squid. One I've been waiting for. Another big one. Nice squiddy. G'day everyone, Rob the Axeman here, and welcome to Catch, Clean, Cook and Eat. You would have seen yesterday I caught a nice calamari out there in Western Port off Quail Bank, and today I'm going to clean it up, cook it, and we're going to eat it. Alright, so let's see how we go. Alright, so here's my calamari that I caught. Nice 37 centimetre hood on it. Nice decent size. And we're going to clean her up now and cook it up and see how we go. Alright, so first thing you need to do is to take the head off the hood. Just put your fingers down up on the inside there. You'll feel for the quill. And pull that out straight away. And we're just going to pull all the guts out all in one. That's all the guts there. Alright, we'll get the knife. I don't use anything from the eyes up, so just the legs, we'll take those off. So all that will just go into my scraps, which I will use for burley. That's a bit of the ink off. All these legs we'll eat along with the candles, so we'll sort those out later. Put those on there for now. Just going to clean this off, it's a bit of a mess. Just going to rinse off that hood. Okay, so there we have our hood ready to clean. Now what we want to do is to take off the flaps and the skin all in one go. So the best way to do that, I found, is to use the scaler and just press along the side there so you can get your thumb in underneath that hood. And you can scrape along the side. And you'll see you take the skin off and those flaps all in one piece. Makes it nice and easy. Just use your thumb. Just clean along the side. Get underneath that other flap on the other side now. And we take all that off, all that skin, and the flaps all off in one go. There you go, so all the skin, flaps are off, that's already just cut up and clean, and now we've got the flaps here, which we will use as they are just as tasty as the rest of the squid. So I'll just trim that over side there. There's some of that skin. Most of that skin off. If you have got a little bit left, you can just use that scraper scaler just to clean off the edge. There you have your flap there, all cleaned up. It's ready to cut up into pieces. And we'll just clean up the other one now. Just peel that skin off. Quick rinse now. And that's your second flap there, all ready to cut up into pieces, which we'll do later. Alright, so this, we've got the hood here now. Still a little bit of residual skin there, which we can just clean off. Alright, that's pretty much it. So, just clean that out a little bit inside. Don't worry about it too much, because once you cut the strips you can always clean the inside out easier. Alright, so we're ready to go. Make sure your knife is nice and sharp. And we're just going to cut the end off. It's a bit tough, that end bit. It goes into my scraps. And there we go, just nice 1/2 inch, 10mm sort of rings. It's a pretty big squid, this one, so you don't want to cut it too fat. Otherwise they take too long to cook and you're batter will brown too much. You can see good size rings on these. It's a good feed. There we go, so there's our rings. You might find a little bit of guts on the inside, which you can just clean off quickly before we are ready to cook them. So there we go. Alright, so we've got our flaps here. We're going to cut those up into little pieces as well to cook. So, just going to cut that into a strip. And then little pieces like this. You see a lot of people throw these away or they use them for bait, but up like this, beautiful little pieces. And if you want to make them look nice when you fry them up, just give them a little scoring like that, and they come up nicely. So we'll add that to our pile. Plenty there to use up, which adds to the feast. There we go, now we've just got the legs here and the candles, which you can see are still a decent size. Chop those up into little pieces as well to fry up. Don't worry too much about the skin on these, just leave it on. Still stick those suction caps. There you can see, there's our calamari all cut up. We've got our rings, we've got our flaps and our legs and tentacles and candles there. So out of one squid, it's a full plate of food there, which we're going to fry up later on and enjoy. Alright, so we've cleaned up all our calamari here. We've got the rings, we've got the flaps and we've got the legs. Now, one little technique that I use to help soften up the calamari before cooking is to soak it generally overnight, but you can soak it for a few hours in some milk. So what we need is a sandwich bag, just like this. Calamari in. Well, you put the calamari in first, then the milk. Now I'll do 2 bags. Resting that on there. Get our milk, just so it covers it. That's it. Push some air out. Seal it up and into the fridge. Alright, so tonight we'll be cooking up our calamari that we caught the other day, and we're going to be making a tempura batter. So the things that you're going to need is sparkling mineral water, ice cold, just come out of the freezer, some rice flour, some corn flour, a little bit of bicarb soda, salt, 1 egg, and we'll need a jug to whisk it all up together. So we'll start off with is we need 1/4 cup of corn flour, and 3/4 cup of rice flour, just a pinch of bicarb soda in that, a little bit of salt, and just mix up those dry ingredients. And we need the yolk of 1 egg, just the yolk. And 1 cup of sparkling water. Make sure you put it in the freezer and make it ice cold. The better, the icier and colder it is, the better you'll have your tempura batter. 1 cup of that. Extra. Put in our yolk. Whisk that up. Now you don't mix this batter until you're ready to start cooking. Alright. And we'll add that to our dry ingredients now. Mix that up so it's nice and light and fluffy. Now this batter will set on the bottom as you're cooking, so you will need to keep your batter mixed and as you're doing batches, because the rice flour does tend to sit on the bottom of the bowl. Alright, so that's all nice, light and fluffy. We're ready to start cooking. Alright, so our calamari we've had in our little sandwich bags in milk overnight. Helps to tenderise it and also takes out a bit of the fishier smell out of the calamari. So we just drain off the milk. Get as much off as possible. And we'll just add our calamari. We'll just put a little bit of the rice flour in there, and we'll add our calamari. I like to put a dusting over the top of the calamari. It just helps to make the tempura batter adhere to it better. So we just go around, get a nice coating on the calamari. And there you have it, your rings are all ready to dip into your batter and then put into the fryer, which we're going to do right now. Alright, so we're ready to start cooking our calamari. We've got our rings in there that have been dusted in the rice flour. Now today I've just picked up this new Tefal deep fryer. I've never used it before, so it might be a little bit of getting used to. We've set it at 190 degrees and we're ready to start cooking. So we're going to dip it into the batter. And I'm just going to throw them straight in like that. Now this has got a capacity of 1.2 kilos, so we can put a fair bit of calamari or fish in there all at once. Alright, so I've had them in for a couple of minutes now. I'll just put them on there to drain for a minute. Looking good, nice and golden brown. The tempura is a very light batter, it's not a thick heavy batter, so it's not too thick. And there we go. Beautiful calamari rings, fresh, nice light batter, with a little bit of lemon and salt on those. Delicious. Alright, so there we have it. Beautiful tempura battered calamari. Delicious.